Well, good morning, everybody. Monday in Europe, and Monday here too. It's 7 o'clock in the evening here in Hobart. We're still here, and 9 o'clock in France. Now, a big day today. Jane and I had a lot of fun today. A lot of fun talking to Elliot, and I've got to tell you, if there's one interview you need to listen to, you need to listen to the conversation we had this afternoon. Jane and I, we were involved with GGR for lots of different reasons, and part of that spread the word about adventure and passion and all this sort of stuff. Elliot is just a crazy guy, and it's such a good story about how he actually got to do the GGR. Yes, he's retired into Fremantle, but epic journey. And the interview was all about Elliot. It wasn't about what happened during the race. I mean, a little bit of it was, but it was all about where he came from, who he is, and what's going on. And it's just such a funny story. I cannot recommend it highly enough. And for us, it's a real buzz because that's one of the key elements that the GGR does. It gives sailors and ordinary people a chance to sort of get involved with life-changing experiences and all the people that follow along from that, and it just goes on and on and on. And it was very refreshing, very fun, very humbling, and highly recommended. So check it out if you can. So this is the GGR track, Les Sables d'Olonne down through the Atlantic, and a few people have been asking where Arnaud is, and we finally discovered he signed off from the race when he got down here by St Helena, and he's now just a few days away from the Caribbean. He's about to make a landfall. He's gone all the way down, 130 odd days at sea, all that sort of stuff, which is an epic journey in itself. So we'll look forward to catching up with him once he makes landing up here later on, and probably in the next 3 or 4 days by the look of it. So we shared that post onto GGR Facebook as well. So let's just have a look at the leaderboard again, just to place everyone. So Simon's had a big day, 188 nautical miles. He's just clipping the edge of the no-go zone, missed it by about a mile and a half. And Abelish, 89 nautical miles. Kirsten, 104. She's picked up a bit. Captain Goog, 125, doing pretty well. Jeremy, 108. And Ian Herbert Jones, 99. So they're sort of level pegging across the Tasman there. And Guy doing well, 143 nautical miles in the day. So that's pretty cool. Coming back across here now. So you can see Guy's well and truly underway. It's as we predicted yesterday, making good time. So he's going to have another 2 or 3 fast days with this lot. Really enjoying the ride. A typical Southern Ocean. He's got westerlies, and in fact he's in the roaring 40s well and truly. He's right in the middle 45. This is classic Southern Ocean stuff, right where he's getting it. He'll be getting 4 metre seas probably. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's got 4 5s, and fluffy clouds probably. Let's have a look at the clouds here. A bit of a mix. Yeah, this is sort of what you get, big lump right there, but he knows what he's doing, and that's textbook stuff for a solo trip around the world. So long may it last for him. And coming back, we'll just zip forward 24 hours. This is going to roll through. Again, nice sailing, backing off a bit. The sun will come out. So that's 25. It's midnight 25. You've got more of the same. 26. So it's all got to do with fast speeds for this. Into the 27th, same again. No storms as such. This is all just Southern Ocean. So that's right through to the 28th. And distance to go for him, still, it's virtually impossible, but he's going to go close. So 1,600 nautical miles, and he's got 8 days. So he's still got to make that 200 mile a day. It's not going to happen, but he's having a great time. So all good for Guy. Now we'll have a look here at the 2 guys going across the Tasman, and that system that was going to come down. So back to today's weather, and they got some, that's probably a bit, anyway, we'll do a distance apart just to see how it's going here. Pretty cool. So they've pretty much been holding their own. So basically 75 miles, just about shouting distance. So that could last for a while. So that's kind of cool. I'm going to come back one so you can see this developing weather. So Ian's done 4.8 knots at the moment, and a little bit faster than Jeremy. No, Jeremy's picked up again, 5.8. So they're on the current position. The previous 4, Ian was a little bit faster than Jeremy, and this soft spot's moved over, and now it's over Ian, so that's cool. And then if we come down, this system, we were looking at it yesterday thinking, I better keep an eye on that, but that's going to go in front of them, and it's opening up, it's not intensifying. Yesterday it was suggesting it was going to possibly come into a bit of a blow, but when we start pushing it through, this is going to impact. This is 24 hours away, so by tomorrow they're going to get some headwinds. They'll probably zip down a bit, probably go south, but it's going to pass in front of them, so there's no real issue there. They're going to be frustrated by those holes there and miss it. And then this big one coming up from behind here is going to give them a push again. That's not a big storm. That's 30, gusting 35, and so on. So, that's 26. That's Australia Day. Oh, that's interesting. Or Invasion Day, depends where you go. But anyway, they're sort of clear there. They got some effort. It's a mixed bag for the next 4 days for these guys, but generally okay. Generally, a typical trip across the paddock. And the Tasman can be very vicious at times, but I think they're going to do all right with that. So that's pretty cool. And Captain Goog doing well, 6.5 knots in the right area, southwesterly. Following seas again, very similar to conditions to what guys experience right now. Real nice Southern Ocean. We get an albatross and so on. All the albatross tend to go along with the fronts. They come through when there's not much wind. They slow down and then they hook up the fronts and fly around here forever. And there's quite big endemic populations of albatross on the New Zealand subantarctics, and this is one of their feeding grounds in here as well. Haven't seen much. People haven't been talking much about whales, but they're on the move as well this time of the year. Most of them are down south, but they'll start to move around a bit later on, so that's pretty cool. I think we can quickly just push Goog's weather through and see what he's likely to get. Again, same stuff. That's 24 hours on the 24th. We go through the 25th, similar again, so he's on the move. 26 midnight. Yep, he's got nice breezes all the way. So for the next few days, no big storms, just and not many calms. So you can't complain about that, and making good progress, fingers crossed. So we'll come back a bit now, and this was the frustrations. I don't think, we can. We'll just focus on Kirsten Abelish. We saw this coming yesterday. So Abelish has slowed down 2.7. Kirsten's going to be spinning in circles, 1.7, but we knew this was happening. They were moving a bit better in the previous 4 hours. Now that it's rolled over to 8, it's stalled out. And we were hoping there'd be a bit of a gradient here, but there's not. So frustrating for them. And I'm going to drop this back one more size so you can see what happened. In fact, moving along, I'm going to do Simon now, and then we can show you the weather of all three and the potential for anyone catching anyone up and measure the distances and so on. So you can clearly see Simon came very close to the line there. In fact, let's just for fun, I checked this out when he was sitting right on top of it, and he missed it by about a mile. So it's good navigation, good track on the course. So we can come back a bit now, and okay, so he's now on his way down the corner. There's plenty of wind down in Cape Horn at the moment coming through, and this will be the start of them maybe. But okay, so what do we got going here? I'll just do a quick push. No, sorry, I'm getting distracted here. So Simon has been doing 5.7, done a big day. He's on 8 o'clock, and now I'm going to decrease the size so that you can see the weather patterns for both Abelish and Kirsten and Simon going forward. So we'll come back to today. This is real-time weather today. They're parked. Simon's moving. The distance at the moment for these guys to Abelish is 1,169 miles, so about 1,200 miles, which is what we said they'd end up at. And now it's, let's just wait and see if it gets any worse or better. So I'm toggling this through now every hour. So they're parked. This is coming through to midnight, so they're going to, Abelish and Kirsten got another few hours sitting there, but Simon's still moving. And then they start moving. So then Simon's going to slow down a bit. There's a light patch there, but it's still going to hold their own relatively speaking, I would say. Because then again, there's a light patch for Simon and Kirsten. Then they got some breeze. So there's not what I'd call a big opportunity to catch up a lot, but it looks like, look at that's forming right in between them. That's interesting. So that's on the 26th. It's still 3 days ahead, and they'll be 3 days. They'll be down here. So I'd be interested to see if I haven't got that on Windy. I haven't got that one there. Tomorrow's tracker, we'll start to plot this as well, and I'll give you the real time or the real wind issues here. And that's, just on the indication of that, that's going to be, 35, 40 gusting, 50 to 55s, things like that. It's quite a little intense one. And there'll be more and more of this stuff popping up now, I think, because we are getting later in the season. We've had a long run for some time. Anyway, it will form in front of Abolition Kirsten. And then let's see what's going to happen here. It's starting to form up. These are the ones that are going to be the challenge, but it's going southeast really quick. So Simon should be in the clear there as well. But anyway, you can see things are changing. The other interesting thing I was just looking at before, so that's pretty much everything for them, is just how high up Sir Robin is here. This is a delayed plot. It's 14th of January, relatively speaking delayed, but so all of a sudden you're going to see a click up, and what was he doing up there is trying to get messages across, and he ends up going into Port Melbourne here to send a message across. And there was a funny irony there, because it was the pilot boat they had, Wayuna, which was a big pilot ship that used to anchor outside in the bay here to meet up with the ships, to put the pilots on board before they went through the entrance here into Melbourne. And the pilot at the time took the message and so on. Many years later, I ended up with a ship. I had a 36-metre ship called Sir Hubert Wilkins, and we were going up into the Philippines to do some treasure hunting, and we had a temporary skipper, and he comes on the ship, and it turns out he was the pilot that met Robin. It was very funny. We had anyway, I digress, but life's like that. And if you want to know more about those things, make sure you listen to Elliot's interview. There's some such classic stories there. Highly recommended. So anyway, all's good in the fleet.